This training is to explain how to use different technologies needed as a committee member for Toastmasters International. The first thing we'll start off with is Club Central. Club Central is the administrative tool used to put any information about your club to Toastmasters International. You do this by logging on to toastmasters.org and then you log in. Everyone should have a username and password if they're a member of Toastmasters International. If you don't have access to this or you've forgotten your password, there is a link here for forgot password. Once you're logged in, if you go to Leadership Central, you'll find a button called Club Central, and as a committee member, all committee members have access to Club Central. All committee members also have access to all of the functionalities in Club Central as well, so any task can be completed by the VPE, the President, the Secretary, every role on the committee. Now, if you're a member of multiple clubs, you will get multiple options to choose from. So I'm going to click on the Heart of England Club, and at any point you can come up to the top and select a different club. There's also a link for different tutorials from Toastmasters International themselves. The main 4 activities you'll do on Club Central is around club membership. Again, the members shown on Club Central is the true record of what Toastmasters International have. If you do have other membership management tools such as EasySpeak, My Toast Host, even an Excel spreadsheet, it is what the information that goes into Toastmasters International Club Central that is the true source of information. So you need to make sure your other systems align with what is in here. The first thing to start off with is the club roster. As we said, this is a link of absolutely everybody's in your club. Now I'm going to move to a PowerPoint presentation here just to cover people's details. So what you'll see with a club roster is a list of all your users, and you can sort them. You'll have their full name, underneath their membership number, and then you'll see their address, their mobile, and their email address. You can edit any of their details at any time, although there are some limitations with changing people's names. And you can also export this to Excel or print this list off. The other new feature you'll have seen in the last year or two is this item here, the pathways enrolled. If the user has pathways enrolled here, it means that they've logged into Basecamp and they've selected their path. If they don't have pathways enrolled, it means that that user is not enrolled into pathways and they will need prompting to do so. The next thing to do is to add members to that list. So there's a very simple button called Add Membership, and there's multiple options you can do here. If the member's ever been a member of Toastmasters International before, then you can pull up their previous details. You can do this with their last name and either their membership ID. If they don't know this, then you can put in their email address. When you do a search on this, it will bring up their details. Now, I'm already active in this club as I use my own details for this, but if you use somebody who has previously been a member of another club, it will bring up to see, is this the correct person? But majority of the time, we have brand new members. So you fill in their details as you would get from the membership form. You have these options of what preferences they would like. So do they want to receive emails, mail, or phone calls from Toastmasters International? And then you check to say that this membership is okay. And when you submit this, it will bring you back to this homepage. The way that Club Central set up is that your VPMs can add the membership, and then the treasurer can go in later and submit the payments. Now, in your club, it might be that the VPM does both, or the treasurer does both, or whoever is available. But the next step would be paying for a member. This is both new members and also members who at renewal stage. And what you'll see is a list of members who are on the list to be renewed, either their renewal, their reinstatement, or their brand new member. And you just add them to the cart and you continue to the payment information. Payment information is slightly different in America as it is to England, so you don't have the long number and the 3 digits on the back of the security. It does ask for things like address. but that is standard over in America. And then the final thing that you'll be doing regularly on Club Central is submitting an educational award. The thing to remember here is with Pathways, you need to go into Basecamp Manager, which I'll explain later, and you approve that a member has completed that award. Really importantly, you need to remember to come onto Club Central and then submit that award. Basecamp Manager only approves that it's happened. Club Central is still the place to submit their awards. Again, any committee member can submit an educational award for any member, but they can't submit one for themselves. So if I was to type in my name, nothing will show up. Whereas if I was to type in another member called Mish, then she will come up. It will give you an option for what educational award you want to complete. What you'll find is for the historical or legacy awards, if I typed in Advanced Leadership Silver, it would already have some messages. So in this case, the user has already achieved this award in the last 12 months. If I go to something like Advanced Communicator Bronze even, it will say that the prerequisite competent communicator hasn't been completed. You can fill in this award here and it will send off a manual message to Toastmasters International to investigate. But come July 2020, this shouldn't really be an issue anymore as Pathways becomes the main one. If you are submitting a Pathways award, the next available one will be ready on the list. So Mish has just started level 1. If I select that, it will say review submission and then ask you to complete it. You don't have to fill anything in. A little quirk is that you can approve awards in Club Central before they're approved in Basecamp. So you could just go through and submit level 1, submit level 2, submit level 3. So this is where the committee needs to be really clear that the person has achieved that award and they aren't pre-filling in information that hasn't actually been achieved. So these are your 4 regular buttons that you will use with Club Central. Now underneath it, there are 9 reports that are actually really interesting to use. Your first one is your club officer assignment. And here it will show from July next year, so future, sorry, who the next committee members will be. And these can be changed at any point and then submitted. As you said before, it doesn't matter where your club officers are shown, it is only what is in Club Central that people will get the credits for in the future. So these do need to be correct. I mean, you do have the current year as well. Again, these probably don't need to be changed after you've submitted it for the new Toastmasters year. But if you do have any changes, then that will happen. Club demographics. So this is information about your club. So when you go into Toastmasters Find a Club, for example, it will say that you're a community club, what your name is, and that you're open to interested to all parties. For example, if you're in a corporate club, you might be restricted. It also gives you your charter date, which if it's been 5 years, most clubs are normally forgotten. And given the new world of Zoom, here you can select if you do have online attendance and you can put your URL for it if you want. You also have the mailing address for your club. Not so crucial anymore, but in the old days, all of your committee handbooks would be sent out to this address. If you do get any awards from the club, this is where they will be sent to. So it is worth making sure that all these demographic bits of information are correct. And then you do have club finances. So again, this is mostly a treasurer's report, but it might be really useful for president to know what's going on with their club or anybody else. So what you can see is you've got the quick view and you've got receipts for each transaction that you've made. Normally this will be by a similar payment method and normally your treasurer's year, but it does allow you to go back and review what has happened in your club financially. So I'll come back to the distinguished reports in a second because that's got a bit more to it. But the next one would be club achievements. Again, this is something that people don't really know about their club, but you can go back and see what you have actually achieved as a club. So at the top, you've got your membership building programs. So your Smedley Award, your Toastmasters, and you can see this club has actually achieved it quite a few times. You've got the awards that you've won as a distinguished club program. So again, this club's doing very well as presidential or select. Occasionally, it's been just distinguished. So it's really nice to understand the history of how your club works. And then the next button you get is the eligibility assistant. So again, this is really used to seeing if a member is eligible to enter contests. For contests, members need to be a member in good standing. So you can use their ID and their last name and then check if you are eligible. Now at a club level, this is normally quite easy to solve because you can go into your base camp, so you can go into your club central, look at the club roster, but when you start moving to area, division contests, you might not have direct access to that member. So this is a good way to look at people not in your club as they are competitors. So just a last few here. We've got the club contacts, addendum and administrative reports. So the club contact and meeting information, this is the communication that Toastmasters has with the club. So you'll have a phone number, an email address, and then some like website and Facebook information. And again, you have an address of your meeting location. So this, this fills in again on the Find a Club page. Your meeting schedule will say how often do you meet, whether or not it's the first and third Tuesday, weekly, mornings, and how often. So again, it allows people to see when is your club running to see if that suits in with their timetable. So again, any changes you have, you come in here, you change it just for once. And then the addendum of standard club options. And this is something that you need to do when you chart your club. You very rarely change this, but what you will find is if there's changes, so how much are your club dues, when are your regular meetings, what's the terms of your office, and this is really how does your club work, what's its values, what's its constitution. So it's important to keep it up to date so that you as a committee all understand what your club says it's going to do and that you're meeting those standards. And then the final one we have is administrative reports. So this is all the historical information, and there's a lot of them. You've got the charter members. If you ever do find out that you're at your 10-year anniversary, your 20-year anniversary, it's really nice to get your charter members there. Or you can see if you've got any retaining charter members. You've got historical club officers, and you've also got historical educational awards, and these do go back really far. So again, it can be really nice to give a recognition to people. As you can see, back as far as 2006, we have 2004, we have records of who has achieved what kind of educational award. And it's a really nice recognition for the club. So quickly going back to the distinguished performance reports, this link here is also the same link that you'd get in Leadership Central and then distinguished performance reports. At a first glance, you'll see your club when you go through the Club Central. It will show you how many members you had at the beginning of the year and how many members you currently have, and then how many educational goals that you've met on your distinguished club program. And it will also show you all the tick marks of what you have achieved, what is left. If you're finding that this report doesn't correlate with what you have outside on, say, in Excel or in your local charts, then you need to, it's normally because an award hasn't been submitted. So for example, if you know that you have actually achieved 4 level 5s in your club, it might be that the level 5 hasn't been approved on Basecamp, or it might not have been asked to be approved on Basecamp, it might not have been approved, and it also might not have been submitted on Club Central. So it's a really good way to make sure that you are actually processing information directly into TMI, because this information comes from educational awards that are submitted on Club Central, new members from Club Central. The club officers is submitted by the division director after club officer trainers, and the administrative is automatic, again, as you submit information to Club Central. What's really nice about this report, though, is at the top you've got the club status. You can start looking at things like club performance, and this will show you all of the different divisions and clubs across your district, and you can change the district up here. So if I go to my own personal division, I can see Area 6, Area 39, and Area 42, and the different DCP points that have been achieved there as well. And again, this is a really good report that a lot of area directors use. So if they show you this screen, you now know where the information's coming from. And if there isn't any differences between what the area director's seeing and what you've got locally, then you can understand why is there a discrepancy. You can go all the way up to the district level. And obviously the districts and the areas do have different performances to get distinguished district. So you can see that it's the number of paid clubs, the number of payments, and the number of distinguished clubs. Now on the left-hand side, there's two other little sets of reports, the daily reports and the additional reports. So on the additional reports, you initially have to start off by going to your district, and we are District 71. You can get the district summary. So this will show you that clubs are almost distinguished. So if your club's in there, maybe it gives you the push to say, we need to do this. You've got district reports. So how many people are paid in their dues in October and August. The club officer lists, the educational achievements for the whole district. So this is a very long list. I think we've achieved about 800 this year. Who's got triple crowns? What prospective clubs do we have in the district? So this can be really interesting to see, especially if you're looking to get involved as a club sponsor. And this is the same page through the additional reports. So overall, that is what Club Central is. It's a tool used to feed information directly into Toastmasters International about the club, the members, and the educational awards.